All right, everybody, welcome into another edition of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast, live, recaps that we do Sunday nights. We thank you for being in. Just Trevor and myself, Brendan tonight. Blake's got something going on with his kiddo, so he might jump in later. I'm not exactly sure yet. What a way to start this. If you haven't paid attention,
just a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I mean, right at, I think it was 7 o'clock, 7:10. They said that Brian Kelly has been fired from LSU.
Gone.
I mean, it couldn't happen to a better person, right? Nah, I don't know. I don't know about that guy, man. He is something else. Apparently, he's been in the backdoor channels, like offering up his coordinators, like, hey, just let me fire them all real quick and try to reset this thing one more year. And apparently the administration was like, yeah, dude, you're done.
Dude. The fact that even came out is crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I woke up, we were telling Trev, like, just kind of feeling a little rough today.
Yeah.
Passed out on the couch because, like, the kids were watching like a movie with Dana, and then all of a sudden I woke up and I'm like in this haze, and then all of a sudden I look at my phone, Brian Kelly's fired. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell happened? It's time to get on it. Great way to start the show.
So does that mean that Brian Kelly is the #1 front runner for the Penn State job?
Dude, I don't know. Let's get into this coaching carousel a bit, and we'll just have this as the lead, because there's a lot of open jobs, a lot of top end jobs.
Yeah,
and there's only going to be more.
Starting at low end, what we got, we have we have Virginia Tech on the low end as far as like talent wise, that's on the roster.
From what they've been doing, I'd agree.
Virginia Tech, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Penn State, Oklahoma State. Who else?
UCLA,
Florida, obviously. Yeah. UCLA's got one. The coaching carousel is going to get a little bit crazy this offseason, I think.
Yeah, but then go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's not going to take long for programs to be like, okay, well, shoot, if we can get an agreement, like a handshake agreement with one of these top end coaches that have come available, maybe we part ways with our coach, type of thing. Like, what kind of trickle down effect do these firings do to other programs in the country, around the country?
I think this is a prime reason why we're seeing Brian Kelly get fired right now, Trevor. Mm-hmm. And they're seeing Florida's opened up. You've got Penn State opened up. And there's talk about Auburn firing their coach soon. There's all this discussion of Florida State coming open. So there's the goddamn comments are already starting. We love it. And remember, guys, if you're watching, please drop a comment. We're fan interaction. That's what we love doing these live shows,
especially on these conversation pieces. We love to hear what you guys have to say, what you think.
Yeah.
Let's just do this. Who do you think would be the front runner for the LSU job? Put your comments in the YouTube. Come on Facebook and YouTube Live, and put your comments in on who you think would be the next head coach.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you. At what you mentioned earlier, though, Trev, is he the front runner from Penn State? I don't know, man. I mean, he would make sense up there. He fit in fine, Notre Dame. He stayed there for a long time. Yeah. He got him to national championships, just couldn't get him over the hump. And then down here at LSU, the expectations are high. He hasn't sniffed it. He hasn't sniffed the playoffs since he's been there.
And it's a culture thing. LSU is a very unique place to coach because while other places in the SEC do have good cultures, it is ingrained in the LSU that you have to embrace the culture of Louisiana State on top of making them successful.
He just did not feel like a great fit from the get go. He is a Northern type coach. Like I can see him maybe at Penn State if the whole Matt Rule thing is already sort of fizzling out. I could see him at Wisconsin if they ever get the balls to fire Fickell. Just I don't. That's a guy we'll talk about here later.
That's interesting, Jared. Jimbo Fisher at LSU. I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise to me, but I mean, Jimbo's still sitting on like $70 million or whatever. From his buyout.
I mean, he could buy a whole roster just with his name.
He could
with what he made. I mean, he said he's on the sidelines waiting. He's been prepping. He's always ready to coach. So Jimbo is a possibility down there.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put this out in the chat. Tell me how crazy I am. Let's see.
What are you thinking?
Hang on. Boom.
My man's typing.
It's coming in the chat.
Gruden. Oh man, the groomers are starting already. Oh man. And then we got good rivalry banter here. If he can't succeed at A&M, then LSU might be more attainable.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
How's MSU doing?
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Then you had to hit him with that one too. Yeah. Hey, look, I don't know what Jimbo Fisher's going to be doing. I know he's talked about playing or getting ready to coach. I feel like they're immediately going to try to go for a guy like Dan Lanning, trying to bring him back down south with a lot of money. I could see them offering Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin, I don't know if that guy can be bought. If the rumors are true that Florida offered him that bag of like $81 million with I mean, if the rumors are true and that's the offer that has been made, I don't know how you say no to that unless it's a family thing, unless it's a uprooting your family, and that's not something he's into or wanting to do.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, he's moved around the country already from Tennessee to Southern Cal to back to Florida or down to Florida, and then I don't know, man. It's going to be crazy this whole coaching carousel, but I would say LSU's they're the top job open right now. Like no doubt, it's LSU and then Penn State, Florida, like in that area. Florida, LSU, Florida, Penn State. Penn State, I think they've got the NIL. They want people they want to win. That's why they fired Franklin. They feel like they're right there. Huge stadium, passionate fan base, recruiting that didn't lack for anything with James Franklin. They recruited well.
They did.
So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Penn State, I feel like they're all in on the Matt Rule thing, and we just aren't going to know until we get into bowl season. Yeah. And once because right now these guys aren't going to commit yet, but if there's got to be some back channels going on here, because you've got to fire these guys. You have to get ready for the transfer portal, the recruiting to try to salvage any of these classes.
Yep.
So I mean, dominoes are going to start falling, but it'll probably be at the end of November, I'd imagine. Unless somebody's just like, I don't give a shit. Like, Matt Rule, if you lose another game or two at Nebraska, like, yeah, I'm leaving. Sorry. It's been distracting.
And it could be just a Matt Rule and that's it. We're going to just take Matt Rule. But
yeah,
I mean, to be honest, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to say that you're going to pick Matt Rule over a Brian Kelly or maybe another coach that might be considering a move like a Lanning, or I doubt Lanning's going to leave for Penn State. I highly doubt that. LSU would be more likely. But I don't know, like Kyle Whittingham, maybe like you can maybe draw him away to one of these bigger programs.
I feel like he's just anchored in a family thing. I mean, his whole family's there. He's anchored into Utah.
I'm just trying to think of some names. I thought of some names earlier, and I'm blanking on them all.
I know people are going to throw a lot at Dan Lanning to try to get him away. I
just don't think he wants to. Like, why would you leave that situation? Honestly,
I mean,
the amount of NIL bags that you can throw at a player if you choose to.
Yeah,
it's an unlimited. I mean, you have the CEO of Nike backing you 1,000%.
I just feel like with LSU and Jacob, I agree. They're the number one team open right now on the market, and I don't know any coach that would not answer the phone to them if they call you. Hey, we've got an opening. We'd like to interview you. You're going to answer that phone.
I would say, yeah. If we're ranking them right now, the way I see it, it's LSU's the top job. Florida State's the second best job. Penn State's the third. Florida.
Florida
Florida
State should be fired. Yeah, Florida State should have fired.
That's on its way. That's on its way. That might wait till the end of the season, but yeah, that's going to be open too. But no, LSU and Florida are 1 and 2. Penn State comes in at the third, only because Florida has a really good, pretty decent roster of talented players.
And you can just recruit there.
And you can just recruit there so much better.
Yeah.
Just in-state. If you just concentrate on killing in-state recruiting at Florida, you're fine. You'll be fine.
I agree. It's going to be something to see. And Jared, you're not wrong. I mean, Oregon has been a jumping, stone or stepping stone, if you will, from, they're like right there and then moving on to the next one. I wish we could. Hey, my sources are telling me it's happening. I promise you. It should. And Fickle should also be fired too.
Yeah,
the Badgers.
He should be gone.
Just the way this man is coaching these games is disgusting. Even against Oregon, letting the time run out in the half. I think there's 44 seconds left, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And you just let it run out. What the hell are you doing? You've just given up on the season completely. Another year, quarterback's hurt. I got it. But god dang, show a spine, man. I don't know. I got nothing else to say on him. But yeah, coaching carousel is going to be interesting. Drop your comments. We want to see them, in the thread here, and let us know what you think. For this show, we do the usual. We'll go through the pick'em games. We'll talk about our gridlocks and all that stuff. And at the end, we've got a little mailbag segment here that we put out on Twitter and on Facebook. So if got those questions in, we'll get them answered at the end. Trev, anything else on the carousel? I mean, it's going to be crazy. I don't know when the dominoes going to fall, but
I honestly feel like from week to week, we're going to see a different, like as we get closer to the end of the season. Let's not say we did. Look, we already know what my gridlocks look like. Yeah. But no, look, the coaching carousel is going to be crazy already, but I feel like there's a few more dominoes that needs to fall before we know what the complete outlook of what the coaching carousel is going to look like this offseason.
You're gonna see a lot of big names dropping. I saw talking to some people saying there might be up to 10 SEC job openings this year, which could be, between coaches getting hired, fired, everything else. Yeah, it's going to be crazy, guys. All right, let's move on. And what a fitting game to start off talking about LSU and Texas A&M, because Texas A&M sent the fucking dude's bags packing, baby.
Literally, they got him fired.
Aggie fans are sitting back and they're just like,
"Yep, we did that.
What a day! Maybe smoking a cigar, man, wow, this is beautiful." Or sipping on a little Garrison Brothers from Texas.
There you go.
Good stuff. But they put it down on him. Marcel Reed did his thing. He did have 2 picks.
He had a game. I will say that. Like I know I have not been the biggest proponent of Marcel Reed, but or biggest fan at least. But he had a hell of a game. He played very well.
Yeah, outside of those interceptions, he killed it on the ground. I may be remembering wrong here, but wasn't it LSU last year that he stepped in and had the big game where he
pretty sure you're correct.
Massive read option?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I might be misremembering, but
I'd have to double
check on the ground
that.
here again. And then really the defense absolutely eviscerated the LSU offensive line.
Got Nussmeier booted out of the game.
Yeah. So listen, Nussmeier, he was taking sacks left and right, tackles for loss. The defense was on it. Brooks was getting it. The defensive ends. I love what this Texas A&M team is doing. That's why when you see our rankings, tomorrow, I have them number 1. I like what they're doing. I like how they're playing. I think their strength of schedule supports that, putting them at number 1. I know Ohio State's playing strong. They're dominating games, but you got to start looking at record, who these guys are playing, how they've played. I think the Notre Dame game, their win is still very key. And so that's where I'm looking at. But LSU, man, all these years under Brian Kelly, and they're just flopping and floundering. They're done. I'm bringing those words back. I'm
every
in love with
every year it's gotten worse since he's been there.
Yeah. So I think it was a good move for them to just kick him out. It's done. It could always be worse, but I think they've always wanted an excuse to get rid of him after he brought out that fake ass accent down there, in his first introductory press conference. And then, he's trying to do the, buying into the culture, calling Baton Rouge, which is a great song, by the way. But he's like grinding behind a goddamn recruit. You can't do that, man. That's get him out of there. So he's gone. But good job, Texas A&M. You're on a roll. I gotta be warning you.
Yeah, I mean, you have them at 1. I have them at 3. I think. Yeah, I haven't seen what Blake has them at, but
I can see the top 3 being interchangeable. But I'm telling you, they're playing well. But for the battered Aggie syndrome folks, 8-4, I guess, is still possible. You just got to have hope if you watch the SEC shorts. Let's move on though. LSU. I forgot I gotta do this. I gotta eat a lemon. I bet with Jared that Clemson would not.
Tonight. We're not doing that tonight.
I'm already.
Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah.
You all right?
I'll just nibble as we go.
My God, dude, if you puke on air, I swear.
Maybe that would get us more live viewers. That rhymes great. But no, Clemson, screw you. Look, that game for LSU looked so good in the start. And then they've fallen off. LSU's fallen off. And I've got to eat a lemon because Clemson's lost 4 games. So I got to stick to the bet. I'll be doing that throughout the show. All right.
Yay.
Let's look at some of these comments real quick. We got a little stack down here before we move on to the next show or the next game. I don't know about y'all, but A&M should be ranked behind Alabama. No, I disagree.
Far from it.
Look, Bama, they've been playing well. They've got the good win against Georgia. However, they lost to Florida State, who is on a skid. I don't give a shit if it's week 1, things have changed. No. And it's only depreciating in value. Texas A&M is 8-0. To me, I've got to put them up ahead. And yeah, when you look at strength of schedule, strength of record, Texas A&M's, I believe, is at the top there. And then trying to see anything else. Jared, from what I'm hearing is they might keep Old Norvell. I don't know. I have no idea. I hope for your sake they don't, but we'll see. All right, let's move on, Trev. Want to bring this one up. Virginia Tech, Cal. This was a game that was my gridlock. I ended up taking the L here. But man, it was a good game. It was right at the end. And Sagapulatelli, I feel bad for their quarterback, man. Their drops left and right. It's like watching Bryce Underwood throw too, and you're getting drops left and right, especially at the beginning of the season. But for Cal, it's still happening all game long. And they had moments where he would just put a dime in, man, and it was a beautiful pass drop for touchdowns. So Cal, I'm mad at you. The one year that Trevor and we were joking about it, where we were like, man, we've said the last 2 years, watch out for Cal. And then this year they finally start doing something. Well, now they lost to fucking 3-5 now, Virginia Tech. So whatever, Cal, I'm done with you. I'm not trusting you ever again. Anything on that game, Trev? It was a hell of a battle back and forth. No. Drones,
it was surprising to me, but I thought Cal played a really good game up until the latter part of the fourth quarter and into it just like. Oh man, we gotta figure out a new bet. The lemon thing ain't gonna cut it.
I gotta stop. The last 2 years I'm like, man, there's no way this is gonna happen. At Clemson, I hate you. Clemson. You should be national championship, race contenders. And now I'm eating a rind. All right, let's move on and talk a little bit real quick. Indiana absolutely eviscerated UCLA. I know their strength of schedule isn't, the greatest or like the opponents they play, but they're beating the shit out of everybody. They beat Oregon. They look good doing it. It's the same with Ohio State. They're dominating games. Mendoza's playing really well. You guys, Indiana's, I think they're much more for real this year than they were last. So I'm not going to spend any time on this game outside of saying that they're running. They're running.
They deserve the number 2 spot.
Absolutely. And even, moving forward, they keep winning. They might get up into that number 1 slot. I mean, they've got Maryland next. They've got Penn State, Wisconsin. Can Indiana win out? We'll talk about that later. I think that was one of the mailbags. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Bama since in the comments, generational Bama hater. Listen, it's not true. Maybe, I do hate Alabama. I'll say that. I respect them. I'm not going to lie. I do hate them, but I respect the shit out of them. I love my friends that are Bama fans. But man, I just can't get over that Florida State loss. I'm sorry. You can't change my mind on that one. But they're still like ranked 5 or, in the top 5, whatever. It's not bad. But looking at this game against South Carolina, and it was really shocking to me how Bama let them get a lead and how they hung around. And then it came down to a comeback and mistakes from South Carolina. And it's because South Carolina, they're not good this year. I don't care what anybody, they suck. They have been horrible. And Bama, maybe just, Bama's they're looking ahead of them.
Complacent.
They've got LSU right after. And now that game doesn't, that doesn't carry the same weight with Brian Kelly being fired. So I don't know, man. Looking at Bama, though, Ty Simpson still played well. He has his moments of, just beautiful passes, darts. And then others, like the receivers, aren't necessarily working with them. I don't know. I'd really like Ty, though. And then the run game still is just not getting there. That's my biggest concern for this team is the run offense and the run defense.
Yeah.
It's not what we're used to seeing from these Bama squads. And I mean, Daniel Hill, he played really well in the passing game. He saved them on multiple occasions.
Right.
I don't know, man. What are you feeling about Bama in this South Carolina game? Are you worried about it?
Yes. Because this is, in my opinion, this is not Alabama of old, where they play their game and that's enough to just be like wipe the floor. And they're not sound enough. And we've seen this all season long now, that if it's a mobile quarterback, they have problems.
Yeah.
Every single time that this Alabama team has ran up against a mobile quarterback, they have had a problem. So I will say that they, I think, are destined to disappoint a lot of Alabama fans, is what I think with Alabama. They are playing good, and Ty is a very good quarterback, no doubt about it. He is playing very well. I will not take that away from him. But if you're asking me if I think Alabama is in the SEC championship game today, I say no.
I don't know. When I look at this, unless looking at their schedule, they've got LSU, and then they've got Oklahoma, and Mateer is not playing the same as he did at the beginning of the year after that surgery. Oklahoma has rushed him back to save their season, and it's only hurt them. Against Texas, this last week against Ole Miss, he just is not the same guy. And then they play Eastern Illinois, the standard and SEC November cupcake, and then they play Auburn, which they just had a weird comeback game against Arkansas. But Auburn's just that up and down, strange team. It's a rivalry game, so you got to watch out for that.
That's the thing. That's the
Jordan
thing. You cannot say anything to me about the Alabama-Auburn game until the final whistle goes in the fourth quarter, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they're ranked.
Yeah, I agree.
It does not matter when those two teams play. Well, whoever's the higher ranked has the most to lose, and usually plays a little bit scared. And that's what happened every time Alabama played Auburn and lost, and they were the ranked team, and Auburn really wasn't.
Yeah,
what's the outcome is not usually in Alabama's benefit.
It's not, and just want to bring this up, real generational SEC hater. Yes,
always.
Bring this up though for Casper, because looking at it, I'm not discrediting them at all. I think their Oregon win is fantastic.
Oregon win was fantastic.
Destroying Illinois, great. However, looking at the numbers from ESPN, Texas A&M currently has the #1 strength of record and the 14th strength of schedule. Indiana is sitting at the #2 strength of record and the 42nd strength of schedule. Ohio State is at 3rd strength of record, 34th strength of schedule. Bama does have the 4th strength of record and the 4th strength of schedule, according to ESPN. So, yes, their strength of schedule is up there, but they still took a fat L week 1, and I cannot get over that loss. And losses have to matter. I don't care.
They do.
They have to matter. Yeah. They have improved. They're getting theirs, but there's teams around them that are also playing well and looking good too. So I got to give them, their props. All right, Bama, you're rolling with the schedule. I see them getting to the SEC championship game unless they drop a stupid one at Auburn. But then again, it depends on what's going on around them. Let's look at the next one, Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. We just mentioned Oklahoma and Mateer not playing well. And it's the same old story with them. He's their offense. He is it. Luckily, they did get a little help on the ground from Robinson. But without Mateer, being completely on it and making those crisp passes that you need on third downs, it just wasn't happening. And Trinidad Chambliss, that dude, he is playing so well coming over from Ferris State, Trev. We talked about this offline. How did a Northern team not get this guy and scoop him up?
I love it. I
don't know.
I want to get an Ole Miss jersey with Chambliss' name on it. I'm rooting for him so much.
He's a fun player, man. And but Ole Miss, there was another one. They had him early. They let Oklahoma sneak right back in the Lane Kiffin special, and then they did figure it out in the fourth quarter, unlike against Georgia. But Ole Miss is rolling. When you look at their schedule, they're another one that they could roll straight into the SEC championship game. They have South Carolina, which is trash. Sellers has moments, but the rest of the team sucks. The Citadel, okay. Florida is, they've fired their head coach. They're just a shell of themselves. They're not bad. They've got talent. Their defense has players, but that one just doesn't bother me. And then Mississippi State at the end, rivalry game. I do think Mississippi State is a dangerous one.
They are a dangerous one,
but they just can't seem to finish. They need some help in the finishing department. And I think you can go to www.hims for that. All right, looking at the next one as I take a little bit more of this rind down. Pack it in like a fat lip. Where's my boys down in the comments, you Zinners. Looking at Vandy versus Mizzou. This one, I disagree. South Carolina sucks. I don't care. South Carolina sucks. They're not good. They have moments if Sellers can play, but the rest of it, and I'm bringing this up, they're not. I mean, they're not the worst team in the league. I know some teams that would be. I'm not going to say their names. For the sake of keeping the show on track, but they're just not good. But looking at Vandy, you got to shout them out, man. Number 10 Vandy goes in, or they deal with Missouri. They got game day in there, and they get the dub, 17-10. It was an ugly, ugly game early. A lot of defense in this one. Playing well, playing strong. Privilege broke his leg. I feel so bad for that guy, man. It snapped his leg down in the fucking goal line. It's just horrible for him. But Zollers came in and didn't play too bad.
Freshman? No.
Yeah, not at all. Considering the circumstances and everything else.
Yep.
He played well. Pavia did his usual thing. Not like the greatest stat lines, but he just makes those gritty plays that keep the team going. So good on Vanderbilt. Good win there. They're moving on up. And Wisconsin, worst team in the league. I got you. Yeah, I mean they're pretty high up there. They are pretty high up there. And Jared, why do you say that? Do you assume that I was talking about Florida State? I just, was that just a gut feeling that I was talking about them? Maybe.
But senses were tingling.
Yeah. Anything on Vandy and Mizzou, Trevor?
No. The result was what I expected. Though I thought I thought Mizzou missed a few opportunities to maybe take control of the game, but other than that, Vandy was pretty consistent throughout the game for the most part, and
I'm listening, buddy.
your face gets me every time.
Hey, my wife tells me that too.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Oh my God. All right.
Yeah, but no. Good job, Vandy. I really like that team. I really hope they keep going. And make it to the playoff. I would like to see Vandy in the playoff this year.
God, that would do so many things. That would feed families. Looking at their schedule real quick, they play Texas coming up. That's one, man. Texas, I know they found a way to come back against Mississippi State. We're going to talk about that one. I just still do not trust them. I don't know. Their defense is strong to a point, even though they gave up 45. I just don't know. I don't know about them. So Vandy plays Texas coming up on the road. They play Auburn, Kentucky, and then Tennessee at the end. It's not an easy road, but the road is there for them to keep pushing. I think even with one more loss, say they lose to Texas, but they go out and beat Tennessee, they'll still be in, at-large consideration, depending on whatever else goes around in the country. All right, let's talk a little bit of Big 12 here. BYU versus Iowa State. And this one, I honestly, I turned it earlier because Iowa State was cooking them. They were looking good, and I was like, man, BYU's they're going to get blown out here. Rocco Beck played a solid game. Outside, I mean, he threw 3 picks, but he was not playing horribly. The ground game was working, but then here comes Bear Bachmeier doing his thing. Throws for 307 yards. This kid is just getting better as the season goes, Trevor. And then the defense really stood up for BYU too, in the second half, shut them down in the fourth quarter. What do you think about this BYU team? Are they for real, or do you still not?
Yeah, I think they're for real, and I hate it because I hate the quarterback being 47. Like, I despise it.
It does bug the dog.
Like, it bugs the living shit out of me that a quarterback is for number 47. Oh my goodness. But no, they are for real. They play solid football, tough football. I thought Iowa State would hold them a lot better than they did, but they did not. Once they got into a rhythm, BYU didn't look back.
Yeah, and it's the ability, even if you start slow, you're on the road. And they'll always give, the Big Ten credit or the SEC credit for, well, they won a tough road game. It was a tight road game. The Big 12 does that too. What is that? Oh, Blake's in. Hold on, we're throwing him in. Blake is here joining the vibes. What's going on? I'm sorry, I missed
FSU number 121. I love it.
Oh my God. Blake, we love it. How you doing, buddy? How's things going?
All is well.
All right, good deal. We're just rolling through. We talked about Bama, Vanderbilt, some games like that already. We're just talking about BYU. I know you said you didn't really have an opportunity to watch much of the games. Just from the sake of the vibes, I know certain listeners absolutely love that word. How are you feeling about number 47 quarterback Bear Bachmeier in the Soren Mormons?
I hate the number choice, but
it bugs the shit out of me.
I know. I won't pick against them again though. They're hot.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm eating my lemon too as we go, so I'm not making faces at you, just myself.
I don't blame you, Jared. I would want BYU's coach at Tallahassee too. I would want him in Florida State, but I don't know if he'll leave BYU for a job that's less than BYU's. That's less than BYU. That's a downgrade. But
oh man,
yeah.
Flaming Florida State tonight. No, I don't. I'm finally buying in. And I was worried that the first week that I actually buy in to BYU, they'd end up losing. In that first half, I was like, done for. They're done. But then they made that comeback. So props to you guys. Hold on. I see my name in the chat. Hold on. What's going on? Brendan was discussing merits of playing that tough road environment in Waco and A. Hey, listen, there's been a lot of crazy shit going on at Waco over the years between the Branch Davidians and the ATF killing children. And I had to say it. The shootout at the Twin Peaks over there with the bikers. And I mean, that's a hell of a road environment. Okay. And then yes, Ames, there's tornadoes, there's dust, there's tumbleweeds, and you got the Soup Campbells The Campbell Soup guy, you got to watch out for them. They're gritty, they're dirty, they're nasty. Either way, I know that the road environments are different in the Big Ten, but still, it's a road environment. They went on and won. So I give them props. Let's move. Let's see, eat hot dogs for the shape.
A geometry major.
I'm gonna leave that up to Jared to answer in the comments. All right, let's get on and talk about Memphis real quick at South Florida. So looking at Memphis, man, we were waiting all week to actually hear if their quarterback was going to be a full go, and it said like day to day he's got an ankle issue. That just never really gives me that good feeling. And USF, they've been playing so well, man. They've been on it, and they had them until the fourth quarter. This was the theme of this weekend was fourth quarter comebacks. And I don't know if these teams are just like lazy and just like, oh yeah, we got the win, guys. That's it. Ship it in. We're done. Right. But then you saw it happen with South Carolina giving up a win to Bama, Mississippi State giving up one to Texas, and then Memphis coming back 17 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. And USF, I mean, you had everything in front of you guys. Everything in front of you for getting that playoff spot as obviously you still have to be the conference champion, but you're rolling on. And I don't know. Memphis, they lost to UAB. They make a rebound. They beat USF. It's going to be an interesting finish for the group of five guys going into the end. What do you feel on them?
Memphis is I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them right now.
I think they just got caught in the UAB game because statistically, like throughout the rest of the season, especially defensively, their front four has been, an absolute unit at the line of scrimmage, which was why I picked them because South Florida has struggled against some of these teams that can generate pressure. Yeah. And that's what I kind of figured was going to happen was Memphis would, put a lot of pressure up front and South Florida wouldn't be able to handle it. And they responded well after that loss. That was another reason. They most likely spent UAB week prepping for USF. And, those are trap games.
Yeah. And then Lewis going down doesn't help, you losing your quarterback. So no, if I had a better feeling about Lewis, I don't know if I would have changed my pick, but I definitely would have thought that game would have been closer. And to answer Colton, easy Seabiscuit. We're going to get back to some Big 12 games. I'm just going down the line from ESPN, okay? From the list. I pulled up my tabs. So we run the show. Just chill out, damn it. I'm eating a lemon and I'm struggling. All right, let's talk a little bit.
Just worry about your Kansas State.
Yeah.
We'll handle everything else. Thanks.
Don't worry. We'll get to the mangy cats, baby. We will get to the mangy cats. I promise you. All right. One of the most disgusting games of the weekend was Texas versus Mississippi State. That's the next one. And always blame ESPN. Can we not do that? To hell with ESPN. But this one just absolutely made me sick to my stomach. One, because I picked Mississippi State. But two, I feel bad for their fans.
I don't.
I do, man. I mean, they've no love lost for Mississippi State squad. Blake Shapen and crew. They in the fourth quarter, I felt like they just kept throwing it. Like they couldn't run the ball. They were throwing it too much, and they gave Texas every opportunity. And then you punted the freaking Niblet, and you let a guy named Niblet return it on you. I mean, God bless, man. What the hell are you doing? It's a generational collapse. It's disgusting. I feel bad for their fans. Texas, good job winning. I still don't trust you. I'm sorry. I want to see more, but you got to give them credit for getting a win. They capitalized on the mistakes that were made from Shapen and company. The short misses on passes, going forward, in certain situations that they shouldn't have, and then of course punting to Niblet. Guys, what do you feel about on this game?
So I give Texas a ton of credit. They have been away they haven't had a home game in over a month. So that alone is a taxing thing for any team to be back to back away games. So yeah, I think they're at like 35 days away from home. So they have had 4 games straight that were away. So I give them credit for surviving essentially that. And honestly finishing the game where Mississippi State couldn't. And
you're not wrong.
I thought Manning played okay. Still not where I thought he would be as a junior that's been in the system for a minute.
Yeah.
Or he's a junior, right?
Yeah, he's a redshirt sophomore.
Redshirt sophomore. So okay, still been there 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, he's definitely not at the level I thought he would be at. As far as understanding what he's looking at and everything like that, because I feel like he's still running around. I think the offensive line is still got a lot of question marks on the Texas side. And Mississippi State, I mean, really, you just blame yourself.
Yeah.
Because it was a whole lot of self-inflicted wounds and bad play calling, in my opinion. It made me super happy. Made me so very happy to see Mississippi State fans crying. Made me very happy. Especially Brandon Walker.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that. He was standing 100%. On the sideline at the exact spot where that overtime catch happened.
Oh, yeah.
And you could just see his face. Blake, what are your feelings on Texas and State? I mean, Archman, he led that comeback until, he went down. But I mean, he led the comeback. He was part of that. And the Mississippi State defense, finally, folding.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on him as being like, your typical Manning or an elite quarterback. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know that there's anybody better on the roster that could take his place, though. He'll probably end up working out just being a decent quarterback. But defensively, I still think Texas is one of the better teams in the country. Or I did going into the game anyways.
Yeah.
They did give up a lot. Yeah, they did give up a lot. But when it mattered, they stood strong and capitalized where they could.
Yeah. I mean, the sacks was huge in this game for Texas. I mean, Shapen threw for almost 400 yards on him, which is insane. But he just doesn't have that clutch gene, he just can't win the big ones. But when you look at Texas' defense, 7 sacks, I mean, that's gonna win you games. It doesn't matter. And we talked about the pre-show and the preview of this game. How do we say Texas was going to win? It has to be this defense standing strong in special teams. And what did they do? They got a special teams touchdown. The defense stood up, got sacks. Even in a shootout, they stood up and made the play when it was the most important. So I don't know. Pause. I don't know what that was referring to. Caldwell. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Relegate Texas to the ACC. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Self-owning your own conference. That's nasty work.
I mean, Texas matters too much to go to the ACC.
If Texas gets relegated to the ACC, I feel like that Florida State needs to get relegated to the Sun Belt.
Put them in Conference USA while you're at it. No disrespect to Conference USA, but
that might be really disrespectful. We gotta be careful.
Yeah, we don't
actually like Conference USA a little bit.
Yeah, they're decent people out there. They're good folks. All right, let's move on. We're gonna roll on, and I promise you we will get to Kansas State. It's just not in the pecking order. Okay, yeah, they're down the line.
We're making you watch, Colton.
Yes, we're making you watch. We were forced to stay here and listen. I can't finish that quote because there might be decent people on the other end of the mic. But real quick, Washington versus Illinois. This one, really, Washington was handling business until, second it got tight. But after halftime, Washington came out and they really threw it down on them. And they stuffed Illinois in a locker. Altmaier couldn't get it going. 2 interceptions. Damon Williams got back to having a good game. Oh my gosh. I get you, buddy. Yes, we were forced to. There it is. All right. So good on Washington. I give them credit for a good win there. Illinois, they just keep hanging around. They'll come up and they'll get a win, then they fall back and get blasted. They're not a great team. They're not a good team. They're not bad. They're kind of that in between, like, danger. squad. If you let them get you, they'll get you. But if you're ready, then you'll handle your business. And Washington did that. Anything on these teams, guys?
Trevor's got Illinois figured out.
Yeah, he said
They're
it all year.
Trash. That's what they are. Nobody, no, not while they're coached by Bielema. Bielema is trash, so therefore, ipso facto, Illinois is trash.
Fair enough, and that's the hard-hitting reporting, folks, that we have here.
Boom.
They suck. Oh my god! All right, let's move on and talk a little bit more about the Big 12. Not necessarily the whole Big 12, but just a Big 12 battle, and that is Houston versus Arizona State. And it's not the mangy cats yet; they're coming. But listen, Houston is 7-1, guys. This team, and we said it in the offseason.
We said it. We all said it. Yeah.
You need to watch out for them. We didn't know how far they'd go, but this was a team to watch. If Connor Wigman played well, if they could get the running game going, they have the coaching staff, I think, that can really make them a dangerous program. Willie Fritz coming over.
Yep.
They're playing well.
Willie Fritz is doing a really good job there, and I fully expect he won't be at Houston for very long, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, he's going to get a bag from somebody.
Yeah, he's going to LSU.
I was going to
probably.
That's not a name that we mentioned early.
No,
but
it wasn't.
That's a great name to throw out. I mean, that's someone to watch. I mean, they're going to want to go for that big name hire.
I've got
sometimes
he's up there.
Smart hire.
Yeah, he's up there on that list.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Signetti. He comes over from the group of 5. Everybody's like, "What? That you think that's going to work?"
Yeah, big names don't always equate to national championships,
especially in today's era.
Yeah. You know what you're getting from James Franklin. You know what you're getting from Brian Kelly. You've seen it everywhere. Even when Brian Kelly gets you to the Natty, he flops. He gets beat the hell down.
Yep.
And then he hasn't sniffed the playoff.
Scared.
So look at
he'd be a great hire at Florida State.
He'd be a
Brian
great culture fit down there.
Yeah, great.
Reset it down there. But no,
that'd be great.
I give a lot of props to Houston here. Arizona State did make a comeback again. They tried that fourth quarter thing that was on par with the rest of the country, but they just could not finish. So Arizona State drops to 5-3, 3-2 in the Big 12, and Houston, they own a lot of the runway moving towards the Big 12 championship game. And real quick, looking at their schedule before we move on, they have West Virginia, which is struggling mightily. They have USF, which is kind of in that same realm. TCU, which is I'd call them a danger team, and then Baylor, which also with their passing attack can be dangerous, but they've been a letdown too. So Houston, they've got a track, and if I'm not mistaken, maybe I'd have to double check. Who the hell? Where's game day going? They're playing Utah versus who? I just missed it. I thought it was Houston that they were going to see, but maybe I'm wrong. Either way, Houston, you're looking good. Let's talk real quick about Kansas State, Kansas. Okay, yes. we got to get our fans are waiting. They're wondering why the hell are we not talking about this game? The streak has been extended. Yeah. our good friend and Kansas State alum is he's been over the moon about this dub. And honestly, I mean, Kansas, if not now, when?
Yep, that pretty much wraps it up.
All right, we'll see you later. We're going to go on to the next one and talk a little bit about Michigan versus Michigan State.
That sounds perfect, yeah, because, I mean, there's nothing really else to talk about that game.
17 in a row is impressive. I mean, that is just – it's nasty.
Embarrassing, would say, especially with how shitty Kansas State is. I mean, that's just crazy to me.
Look, Kansas State is kind of I hate to compare them, but they're in the realm of Kansas last year, where Kansas started off poorly and then they started knocking teams off at the end of the season. But Kansas State, they had that early beginning, and now look at what they're doing. They're starting to knock teams down. They're looking good. They're playing better. Avery Johnson was laying in some dimes. I mean, he was looking really nice out there. I was expecting a little bit more on the ground from him, but when you're tearing them up like that through the air, you don't need to. So, no, I got nothing to say. Kansas, you're embarrassing. It's time to move on from Jalen Daniels. Guys, anything about these teams?
Not really.
No feels, no vibes. Hey, Colton, we're proud of you. I thought there would be a little bit more for you, buddy, but no, the boys are not ready for Kansas State.
Kansas State is on the same level to me as Colorado. Like, it's just like that same level of shittiness. It's there.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's pretty bad.
Hey, listen, the defense stood up, and that's something that Colorado can't say.
They just need a more consistent
They definitely failed at
quarterback.
that. They definitely failed at that this weekend.
Jeez, Pete. He said he can't hear you over that dub, buddy. He said he can't hear you. All right, let's talk a little bit real quick. Michigan State. Sparty, it was on our pick'em. It's a rivalry game. It got, it was tight early. There was the missed call that everybody's freaking the hell out about. The offsides that overturned a fumble.
FBI's looking into it.
FBI's on it. I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game anyway. Michigan's defense was doing what they needed to. Michigan was grounding them on the ground. The passing attack though was disgusting to me. And it's like Michigan can't figure out. As they should listen, when that play was live and full speed, it looked offsides, and that's what you're calling it from. When you can slow it down still frame. Sure, he was not offsides. I'll give you that. I'll admit it. But full action, full speed, you can't tell that. The dude threw the flag. It is what it is. If you guys didn't suck on offense, then maybe you'd have scored some more points. But I just don't know. Michigan's attack in the passing game last week looked so good. This week, nasty. I don't know if it's just a disconnect between the young quarterback and the OC or what, but something's got to get figured out. What do you guys think, real quick?
I'm so pissed. I'm just pissed about the Michigan. That should have been an absolute drubbing, and I'd have to go back. But Jared said something. I mean, I know he said it in just a trigger or whatever. Michigan sucks. But at this point in time, if they were to play Ohio State tomorrow, they would get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
The way they're playing, and especially the first part of the game, the way they played in the first part of the game is so lackadaisical with no sense of urgency. And I feel like that is just Lindsey. He doesn't even look like he has an urgency bone in his body.
Yeah.
And I said this hire, and when this guy got hired, I said I have major concerns with how he runs the offense.
You did.
Going back to North Carolina, I have major concerns with how he runs the offense. Because this isn't North Carolina. We are not made up with the way North Carolina was made up. So it's not a linear comparison.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't know how to get a running game going, which don't get me wrong, the running game's going good, but I think that's more or less to do with the running backs more so than his actual play calling. But
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what to say about the wide receivers.
I think the rushing attack's fine. I think it's just the scheming. It's like you'll do a run pass, and you're already behind the sticks, and then it's third and long, and then what are you gonna do? And now next it's pass. Oh, we didn't get it. Pass. And now you're screwed. It's just the game calling. I don't care for it. And Samaj Morgan should not get another target this season. It's disgusting
he's playing
how
terrible.
many drops he's had.
He's playing absolutely terrible.
As for Sparty, Childs just doesn't have it to me. Like, he's got moments where he looks all right, but then others he's just not there.
He needs to transfer back to Oregon State.
Yeah, I think he belongs at that level. I'll say the other quarterback that came in, I don't even want to say his last name, Milivojevic. I don't know, whatever his name. He actually came in and looked pretty decent. The young guys. So maybe they'll make a change. But I will say Mekhi Frazier had a good game on the ground, and the defense had moments of really forcing pressure on Underwood. So good for them on that. But Sparty 0-5 in the Big Ten. You got to fire your coach. I don't care. It's got to be done. Comments real quick. Got to look at it. Where is it at? Where'd it go? Is Trevor wearing a purple shirt tonight?
No.
It looks the hue is kind of there.
It does.
we need a close up visual of that, Trev, to confirm. All right, let's move on. A couple more games just to mention. Nebraska goes out and they beat Northwestern 6-2 now on the season. That was a game that Northwestern, really kind of made it tight there at the end, but rail on them. They figured it out. Preston Stone's just not the same guy he was at SMU. That was it 2023, I think it was, that he had such a great season, guys. Northwestern's doing better than what I expected, but they just still don't have that attack, to really push the envelope. Anything on that one real quick? We're just gonna go flying through some of these.
Yeah, let's get through some of these so we can go through our picks and the gridlocks and whatever.
Wake Forest goes out and they beat SMU in a tight one. Wake Forest is sitting at 5-2 on the season. They're one that we also mentioned in the preseason. Hey, we don't know how far that they can go, but they've got some decent pieces on the squad, and they came in late and kicked a last-second field goal to win that game. Good on them. Iowa absolutely blows out Minnesota. They'll row the boat. It's sunk. It's done. I don't know how you recover from that. 3 interceptions from Lindsey, who's supposed to be their savior at quarterback. Really nasty performance there. Pittsburgh, just want to highlight them. 53 points against NC State. Great win from them. They're sitting at 6-2, 4-1 in the ACC. And Trevor's prediction of them going to the ACC championship game is still a possible thing that can happen. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about our numbers from the week. Gridlocks, pick'ems. I know Trevor doesn't want to talk about the gridlocks, but we got to do it. We'll rip the Band-Aid off. Trev,
I really thought Northwestern was going to do it against Nebraska. I'm not going to lie. I really thought they would, but they
on your pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were close, man. It
was a good game. They played well, but that's not good enough to beat Nebraska.
Yeah, numbers on the pick'em here. 8-5 for me on the week. Trevor went 7-6, and Blake had to go in at 9-4. He got the win. He moved into one game back of Trevor in the total. On the year, I'm sitting at 71-35. Trevor 64-42, and Blake one game back at 63-43. And then when we look at the gridlocks,
let's not. Can we just skip it?
we got to do it. We got to do it for the Vans. I'm sitting at 5-5. Took a loss this week because Cal couldn't figure out how to finish. App State, they did get close. They got close, man, but they just again could not get it done against Old Dominion. And then another one, the Mangy Cats. Blake doubling down. Good pick on that one, man. They got me a win against TCU earlier, and they're just looking better. They're playing better than what they were. So that might be something to watch for Gridlocks moving forward. Is using the KSU a little bit more. But again, Blake's 6-4 on the season. Trev, I don't even want to
shut up.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
And I'm at 5-5 on the year. Got to start getting some wins in that column, my friend.
I'm gonna start picking some like 1.5 point favorites and shit.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Get in the win column. All right,
God,
that's it on those games. It was a hell of a weekend for college football. A lot of tight ones. The coaching carousel is going on. But real quick, guys, we're going to do the mailbag that we pulled up here and just hit up some of these questions from the fans, mostly on Twitter. I think we had 2 from Facebook.
Participation is the key here, folks. So put in your answers in the chat.
Yeah, and where the hell did I put them? I think they're in the messenger. But it's truly, if you guys want us to answer anything, shoot them our way. We'd love to hear what you have to say or what you're thinking. The first one. My dream, and this is from Barbara, my dream is a Texas A&M Vanderbilt National Championship finale. Do I have a chance, Gridiron Wizards?
No.
No.
I just don't.
It's no chance. One of the two, there's only one team in here that I think has the opportunity to make it to the Natty, and that's Texas A&M. But I think Vandy will be outmatched once they get into the playoff. I think they do have a path where they could get to the playoff.
Yeah.
But it's a tough one.
Yeah, even the rest of their season, they have places that they could drop. I would love to see it too myself. I would love a Vandy in the national championship. That would
be amazing.
So awesome.
That'd be amazing. I'd record that stuff. That's the stuff you record.
Yeah, I mean that's one you tell your kids about. Man, do you remember that year? But I just don't see Vandy getting all the way through. They're a gritty team, but they'll drop something. Down the line, even if they get in the playoffs.
Yep.
Texas A&M definitely has much more of a chance. They've got the defense is playing well. Offensively, they're right there. So good question. Thank you. I just don't see it. Blake, what about you? No,
No,
not happening.
No.
Next one from Anthony. He's a friend of ours on Facebook. He's got He's got a podcast too. We've shared him on our page before. With UNLV, he's a UNLV fan. He asked, with UNLV getting stomped against Boise State, does it change the coaching trajectory for Dan Mullen, who's been getting whispers about being a candidate to move to a bigger team?
So
for me,
go
ahead.
I was going to say, the way I look at this is that once you've gotten to the point where people are already talking about you, if your season takes a turn, doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to look less on you, but they will have more questions. But I think if he was already in the running for a job, that it probably will continue to be in the running for the job until he sits down with a in-person interview and they ask him, hey, what happened? Like, why did you guys fall apart?
Yeah, I don't think it always boils down to what that coach's season pans out. You're right. They're after him because of his entire history. Yeah, and Dan Mullen's issue had always been recruiting. He did not like to recruit, but in today's landscape with the portal,
he doesn't really have to.
He doesn't have to anymore. He can
hire, like if he gets to a bigger program, he can actually hire a recruiting director and all of his assistants can essentially recruit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I told Anthony was, like, I don't think that their season's completely derailed. We said in the preseason that this is a team to watch just simply because they brought in Dan Mullen. They brought in 50 new players. Nobody really knew where they would go, but they started 7-0, right? They lost to Boise State. The season's not done. There's opportunity for them to still keep pushing, through the schedule and make a run for their conference championship game. But Dan Mullen's going to people are going to look at him. It's just going to happen. But if I'm Dan Mullen, you've already been at these big name programs. Shit didn't work out. You can change it a bit with the recruiting and hiring, a recruiting director and you just being the guy that coaches. You can do that. But if you keep trying to run it at UNLV, I think that's a solid spot to try and make playoff pushes. You're maybe not getting that elite talent, but you can still, he's running the portal there. He just showed that he did it. He's winning games. I don't know. The fan base is not going to turn on you for winning, 9-10 games in a season. I don't know. It just feels like a good situation for him to be in. So we'll see what he does. Good question though. We appreciate it, Anthony. Next one was from boy Coach Money on Twitter. That's his handle. I don't know his name, but he's cool to talk to on Twitter, so we appreciate it. Bryce Underwood, he's generational looking talent. However, his mechanics have been poor at times. Is this a coaching issue? Is this just experience? He's a young quarterback. And then also, what is Michigan's win-loss record at the end of the season? Guys, you want to talk on that real quick while I pull up Michigan's schedule and we can look at that?
Yeah, so yes, Underwood is very talented. He's got all the tools. He just doesn't have the right arm talent yet. He's got great powerful arm. He does not have good touch. I mean, that's something that can be taught. But since he is a, true freshman starting, you kind of teach that on the fly. As many practices you can get in with trying to work on his touch and taking a little bit of zip off the ball. You just kind of have to work through that during the season. And as far as their win-loss record, I'm still going to say they're going to lose to Ohio State.
Yeah.
So they're going to end the season 9-3, in my opinion. I think they will end up they'll win all the way to the Ohio State game, but I just think Ohio State has too much for Michigan this year.
Yeah, they're looking good, Blake.
I think people just need to taper the expectation of him. Yeah. I mean, it's as a true freshman to be, what are they, 6-2?
6-2, yep.
That's not, I don't think that's awful. And he's had moments where he's looked good in the games I've watched, and he's had really bad moments too. But I mean, you're basing the future of Michigan off of this guy, and it's his first go. I'm sure over the next 2 seasons. But but I have also seen where over the past few years, going back even to like 2018, 2019 with Blake Barnett, when these kids are called generational talent and then they get to a program that doesn't necessarily fit their style of play.
Right.
I mean, this kid threw for 12,000 yards in high school and he's with a run first offensive scheme.
Yeah.
It's different for him. So he's not going to look, to the expectation of him. I think he's good. I just think he's in the wrong system.
Yeah. And I think, go ahead, Trev.
I was just going to make, sorry, go ahead if you want to talk about it, but I'm going to make address to Jared's comment in the chat real quick.
Yeah, go
so this is Arch is a completely different scenario because he's been in the program for 3 years and then getting the start. So there is no tempering of expectations because he's been in the program. He's been able to practice with the team, with the players, so on and so forth, knows the playbook inside and out, or should.
Yeah.
So this is not the same scenario.
And he got play last year too.
And he got to play last year.
Where Bryce is coming in cold. I'll say I like what he does. The velocity thing on certain passes is not a problem to me. I do think he needs to grow some more in his touch on certain passes. We saw it. I think it was last week. He overthrew a touchdown in the corner because he didn't put enough of the arc. So that's something learning. He does throw off his back foot sometimes, when he's in pressure. But his arms, he trusts his arm strength so much that most of the time it gets there on a rope.
I will say that there's a slight thing with the coaching too. I think.
Yeah,
I think there's a problem with the coaching.
I think it's one. He's a young quarterback. You've got a head coach, offensive coordinator that they're trying to mesh and figure out what's best for each other. Some days looks great. Other days it looks like what happened at Oklahoma. It was a road game and it looked ugly. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm giving it time.
Are you concerned about him not identifying blitzers?
There was
that are clear blitzers. Like if you're watching on TV, you're like, that guy's definitely blitzing.
Yes,
and he's not either, or like nobody's identifying it. He's not identifying it.
Yes,
I have a little bit of concern with him not being able to identify that stuff, which leads me to say that we have possibly an offensive coaching problem.
Yeah, I agree, and that's something that you got to look. Michigan State did it really well. They brought him up right at the end.
Yeah.
And that's something an experienced quarterback is also going to see that and try to shift protection. The one that caused the fumble that was rolling off sides. An experienced quarterback is going to shift the running back to his right and protect himself so the offensive lineman can take the defensive end. But the O lineman was in confliction, and the running back now has to go all the way over to try and hit the blitzing corner.
Yep.
It's just a disconnect there, and I think that's where your execution is. I'm not worried about Bryce at all, to be honest with you. He's very accurate. His arm angle changes are great. Mm-hmm. The RPO game has been fantastic. He is 18. I'm going to give him some grace, and we'll see how
Absolutely.
It goes. However, the coaching staff, you've got to help him out and put him in better situations. The run game, that's what Michigan does. You got to hammer it. That's what you got to do. That's who you are. That's your identity. But last week you used the tight ends. This week you didn't use them at all. So to me, that it's a coaching problem and not a Bryce Underwood problem. As for their thing, I think they can still beat Ohio State. I mean, you saw last year with a much worse offense than what Michigan has right now.
That's going to be their key is slowing down the game. I think you're right. Like 100%.
You got to. So we'll see what happens. But I think they went out until Ohio State, and then that one's a toss up. But it's at home. We'll see. A couple of questions. There's a couple in the chat that we want to get to real quick. And then there's one more, unless you got something else. Try.
No, I was just going to say, let's get to the last one from Ed, and then we'll get to the chat.
Yeah, Ed from Twitter, he asked a question. Does Indiana run the table in its regular season schedule? If not, who derails them? And guys, you want to tackle that?
Well,
I think they do. I don't see anybody that's going to pose a problem for them.
I honestly don't. I'm with you on that one, Blake. I'm trying to think who could possibly derail them, and maybe at Penn State potentially. I don't know. Maybe they do. It would be crazy if that happens. It would be crazy, but I would say if there was any team on the schedule that has the talent, maybe not the coaching, but the talent to hang and upset Indiana, it'd be Penn State. Everybody else, it's not even close.
Yeah. Even with Allard down, for the season, Maryland, they have some offensive firepower. They could maybe do it, but I just don't think they have it defensively. And then you got Wisconsin, which is I think Indiana wins out, and I think you see them playing in the Big Ten championship game.
Yep.
I think it's crazy to say it, but I think it's going to happen. All right, got a couple more in the chat from Jacob. Which player deserves more national recognition attention right now? Or which player maybe deserves the most? Pavia, he deserves a lot, I think, for just being gritty. I think Marcel Reed after this last game deserves some. I'm trying to think of others off the fly. Guys, can you think of any that really deserve attention?
That was the two I was going to say. But with Pavia, he's a great player, but stats-wise, he didn't really have his best outing.
Right. And he's a playmaker.
He's a playmaker.
That's what I would say Mendoza.
Mendoza for sure.
Yeah, Mendoza.
Mendoza needs to be talked about more than what he is.
Yeah.
And I know they get talked about, but I think it's kind of not talked about as much. But I think Julian Sand needs to be talked about more as the premier Heisman favorite at this point, in my opinion.
He's been very accurate.
He's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, their talent is pretty easy to work with, but I hope that doesn't hurt him because he is playing really well.
I'll say somebody that should be in my opinion, in the Heisman conversation right now that is not being talked about nationally, and that's Brendan Sorsby from Cincy. He's only thrown 2 interceptions on the season, 20 touchdowns. That's somebody that I'm looking at as he is dictating what this team is doing. He is the lifeblood of the squad. The team around him is playing well too, but he is really, really doing it for them. And I agree. Pavia's yardage, like Blake mentioned, it's just not there. It's not. But he runs that team. He is Vanderbilt right now, and that doesn't discredit anybody else on their team. But he runs the show. So good question. Another one, is Lincoln Riley still a top 10 coach? How would you rank him as a head coach against some of the other Big Ten peers?
I've never been a fan of him. To me, he's a middle tier coach. I would not put him in the upper echelon of college football coaches, even with his history. Historically, he has a good win-loss record, but when it comes to winning, it's just like the James Franklin. When it comes to the big games, he just seems to fall short.
Yeah, he has moments where you're like, okay, they're clicking, things are looking good. And then others where it drops. His run with quarterbacks is great. I agree with that. But outside of that, he's towards the top of the Big Ten when you look at some of the other coaches out there. You're not going to put Brett Bielema ahead of him, probably. PJ Fleck, no. Dan Lanning's up there. I don't know. The coaches in the Big Ten really don't, do it for me, I guess, for when you talk about big name guys. But they're solid. Kirk Ferentz finds a way to win every year, even though he runs archaic systems. He's trying to figure it out on offense. He's changed things up. James Franklin's gone. Matt Rule's doing his thing. Jonathan Smith, I'll just laugh at that one. Sherrone Moore, he's winning.
Sherrone Moore, that's great. Can I petition for Jesse Minter to come back as head coach?
I would love that.
And fire Sherrone Moore altogether? That'd be great.
I'd love that.
I want Jesse Minter back.
I won't say I want him fired yet because he's 4-0 against rivals. He's winning games. He did beat Bama and Ohio State. It's just there's things that still need to be worked on. He's still a young head coach. I'm gonna give him a little bit more grace. Not much.
I'll go with that. That's fine.
I do agree. Haynes King definitely needs a lot of credit. He is, that dude plays so freaking hard. And
on the outside of quarterbacks, I think Justice Haynes, not to be a homer, but I think Justice Haynes needed to be talked about as the best one of the best running backs in the country. Yeah, if not, I'd say top 3 right now.
He has really been the lifeblood. and even Jordan Marshall when he steps in. That Michigan's got a great running back duo, but no, Haynes has been fantastic. I'm glad to have him. Last question that I see here: what is next for Deion Sanders in Colorado?
Aflac commercials is what's next for Deion. Colorado probably they're going to fall off like they did in the 90s.
Some might say they never got back.
Well, they talent wise, no, they didn't. But like ratings wise, I mean, when you put Lil Wayne on the sideline, you're going to get views, I guess. But you have
Michael Irvin showing up to the games.
Like 15 wins in 3
Warren
years.
Sapp's on the coaching staff.
For me.
Yeah, I know that there's word that he's got, medical issues and all these things going on. I thought he was going to leave after his kids left. But
the way this season's going, he might leave right after this season.
We're like, well, maybe things will get better after they're out from under the shadow of, but no, it's just ugly. And Utah put the absolute smackdown on him. With the new quarterback, because
with a different quarterback. That was interesting that they made a change.
Well, he was hurt, so they
really
he got dinged up a bit, so they wanted to play the young guy, and they went out and absolutely worked him. So I think you got to move on. The gimmicky, it's all that's done. It's old, it's washed. So that's what we think on it. Thank you guys for all the questions. Truly, it means a lot. The fan interaction really helps us. And it just makes the show, fun and moves smoothly. Guys, anything else before we shut her down tonight? Hell of a week of football. We got more coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be a great week. I think this week, we have football every day.
I believe so.
Starting Monday Night Football with the NFL, and then Tuesday on is all college.
Yeah, and I think this is now. I mean, Tuesday night we've got games. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yep. So this is a great time.
It's going to be a great time for football fans.
Oh yeah, I do have some more of the lemon. All right, that was the rest of the innards on it. If I'm choking on a seat, forgive me. But guys, again,
I'm not a basketball fan, Colton. Sorry, not a basketball fan, brother.
I love the rivalry between you two. It gives me much joy. But
I mean, again, you really shouldn't be either because you are a Kansas State fan. But I mean, it's like whatever. Have they ever been relevant in college basketball? I don't even know.
That's a Michigan State thing. Is it basketball season yet? And yes, it is, guys. So you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Anyway, sorry, tangent. Hello.
That's what we do.
Go ahead and follow us on above and below Substack. You'll find some of our write-ups on the different teams, Group of 5, Michigan, Alabama. Go ahead and subscribe. Share those on your social medias. We appreciate anyone and everyone that shares our stuff. It definitely helps us out greatly. And thanks for joining us tonight.
Amen. We'll see you guys around. Take care.
See you.
Take it easy.